Hi, my name is Alexander Aragon Aguilar. Today I'll be presenting to you my final capstone presentation where we'll be going over the final web design and updated research that Eacademics has gone through. Enjoy! Before we look at the final web design and updated research, let's quickly review the research, the background information, and the visual elements that created Eacademics, a website dedicated to online lessons for adult education. As we go through these key elements, we can identify what remains the same and what has changed for the website. Let's begin by taking another look at the corporate logo and name. The open book that you see right here is revealing the E and the A that represents the Eacademics in the corporate name as shown on the right hand side. Now let's quickly review what this Eacademics stands for. We'll begin by looking at the executive summary. As seen in the executive summary, Eacademics offers engaging website that helps students use critical thinking and reading skills to solve complex word problems. The high engagement web trend utilized within the website will prolong the attention span of students, while the high engaging teaching strategies within the website will give students the skills they need for post-secondary and career success. Eacademics is developed to be used as a group lesson for teachers and administrators on a smartboard. Students can also access the lesson to develop further comprehension. The lesson reduces the workload of teachers by providing a ready-to-go lesson plan. The strategies taught are data-driven and proven to work. Following the executive summary, we have the vision statement to establish high engagement learning with interactive technology. The mission statement. Our mission is to transform how students learn by providing teachers high engagement web content. The goals and purposes. Provide high engaging strategies for learning with web design and technology to prepare students for college. And the key message, high engagement reading strategies are key to understanding complex word problems. Here we have the Eacademics promotional content. The promotional content developed by Eacademics showcases how the website works on both a horizontal and vertical orientation on a mobile, tablet, and laptop platform. Following the Eacademics promotional content, we have a screenshot of the home page as well as a screenshot of the lesson page. But what better way to take a look at this than to look at the actual website? So let's go ahead and pull that up. Here we are at the Eacademics homepage. We're going to continue by clicking on the geometry lesson plan. On the left-hand side, you're going to notice that you have the word problem, which you can actually interact by clicking on all the keywords, checking to see if they're all there. And then we'll have our work area for the instructors right here. As they click on this, the screen won't move on the smartboard. And on the right-hand side, they can kind of guide the students and themselves through this accordion. We have reword on top, illustrate, calculate, and explain. Now that we've seen how the geometry word problem works, let's go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint to see if we accomplished our goals. Did Eacademics establish effective learning and effective study habits? Did we promote in-depth reading strategies to increase critical thinking skills? Did we improve student participation while providing a more structured and efficient group lesson? I'd like to say we did, because effective learning and study habits are established every time students highlight keywords that can be found in a difficult word problem. These strategies are part of effective study habits that incorporate marking text to analyze content being read. This is crucial in testing that measures college and career readiness, because this test explores how students handle critical thinking skills, time management, and problem solving. The accordion web element on the right helps instructors model how difficult word problems can be broken down into simpler steps. I often tell my students, it's easier to eat a big meal in a small portion than to try to eat it in one go. Following that, we have the corporate package and the corporate identity system. Not much has changed in the corporate package. We still have those two two-sided Cornell notes so that students can follow along. And then on the right-hand side, we do have a few changes. The biggest change would be to the paragraph font, which was changed to Montserrat, because we found that it was actually more effective in helping students read through the word problems and helping students identify and go through the page. Following that, we have the design process. Now, on the left-hand side over here, you can kind of see that Eacademics didn't always look exactly the way that it does now. At first, we had the E and the A as shown right here, but we kind of found that look to be a bit more childish. Now, adult education has a lot of adults as well as younger students, so we needed to make something that would seem a bit more mature. So we changed that to look as seen right here on the Eacademics corporate package. Now, following this, we have a close-up of that Montserrat font I mentioned before. And after getting the website Eacademics up and running, the paragraph font was changed from Futura PT to Montserrat to improve user interaction because I noticed it was easier to read Montserrat. On the left-hand side, we have the original sitemap, and on the left-hand side, we have the new web sitemap. Now, after research based on the paper prototype and the digital prototype, one of the most common takeaways was that Eacademics site navigation needed to be simplified. We determined that we wanted to make it easier for teachers to go to our website and bring up a lesson plan as fast as possible. So we went from all this navigation to a little bit more simplified navigation. Here's a closer look at what the web flow now looks like. This used to be the prior web flow that we had during the digital prototypes, and this was the final end result for the web diagram. So as you can see, it's a lot easier to get to those lessons, and not as much selection and choices, which kind of made it difficult for instructors to find the lesson in a more timely manner. Following this, we're going to see how we went ahead and we built upon our goal of providing a mathematical reasoning word problem. So in here we can kind of see the steps that I wanted to implement to where we identify keywords and then we kind of took them step by step to find the answer. Now, let's see how that looked on the digital paper prototype. On the digital paper prototype, you'll see that we have it separated into two sections, a lot like the final version, but on the final version we separated it into three. So here we have a computation word problem and how they've solved it during the digital paper prototype. Here we have a table. As you can see, there's still some hand-drawn elements. Like I said, this is a prototype, so it's something that helped us build and create what we have now. Some of the things that you'll notice that we took away was the math library here. And then we kind of also put a link to the different word problems and in different sections in case teachers needed to go. We took away the save and print. We took away the hint 1, hint 2, and solve. And we said, well, this would be a lot easier to present as an accordion on the right-hand side. So why don't we actually take a look at a teacher actually using the website and see how the end result was.
There is, on the GED test, the majority of it is going to be made up of reading. So we'll go through a practice question just to kind of see what we'll be seeing on the test and help us to kind of work out that problem. See key things that we have to point out to help us to get to that conclusion, because when we look at it, we kind of get nervous and we see a bunch of words or we see a bunch of numbers and it scares us, makes us want to step away. But if we break that question down, it'll help it to become easier for us. And the more practice that we get, the better you'll get at it. So the question in the word problem here is highlight keyword. Check our work. We can use the calculate and make sure. So let's make sure that we did the right thing. So we have 10 over 3 is equal to n over 15. We divided by 3 on both sides. And then n is equal to 50. Yay! So in the explanation, We do need, for every 15 full-time employees, we would have 50 part-time employees. When we are working on ratios, you want to make sure that you're keeping it equal. We're not going to cancel anything out completely, just like when.
Now that we have an idea of how Eacademics is being used for in adult education, let's look at complementary projects developed alongside Eacademics. In this slideshow, we have Graphic Pro Inc., a company project created during the Design Management course. This gave me a unique perspective on what it means to run your own business. The left-hand side is a business plan for Graphic Pro Inc., and the right-hand side shows an advertising pamphlet. Here we have visual elements designed for the web application class, where I created A-Truck, a mobile application prototype to help a local company named Aguilar Trucking manage their business expenses. The top right corner shows the path each task required in the prototype, and the bottom right shows the actual paper prototype being used. The last slideshow here is a web page I created when going through the analytical website interface and usability course. I showcased it because usability is what has been improved upon the most in Eacademics, and I just want to go back and give credit to what I learned from this usability course. That brings us to the end of the Capstone presentation. Here we have APA references as to some of that proven study habits that I mentioned before, and below that we have all the Capstone presentation proposals, visual element videos that I mentioned or that I have shown before. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Eacademics.